Hey kindergartners, it's Mrs. Seals back for our next science lab, our first science lab from the new school. I hope everybody had a great break. So last week we were talking about day and night, and hopefully you remember that day and night is caused by the Earth's rotation or the Earth spinning. When we are facing the sun, it's daytime. When we're facing away from the sun, it's nighttime. So today we're going to be talking about the sun. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to learn about the sun today. This is a little bit different of a lesson than what the in-person kids are doing, but you're still going to learn the same things. The kids that are in person are going to be doing an activity from a program called Mystery Science. That includes a video and a little lesson. And unfortunately, because of copywriting issues and laws, I cannot show that on a video that I'm going to then post on YouTube. So I'm going to kind of summarize it here for you and talk to you about the sun and then show you what we're making. All right. So your target says I can observe, describe, and illustrate objects in the sky, such as the sun. So let's talk about what the sun is. The sun is a star. You may not know that, and we'll talk about what makes it a star in just a minute. The sun is made up of gases. The sun is the Earth's main source of light and thermal energy. Hopefully you remember that thermal energy means heat. So in other words, we get our light and our heat from the sun. And the sun is the center of our solar system, which again, we'll talk more about in just a second. So let's talk about what makes the sun a star. So stars are made up of gases. And I just told you a second ago, the sun is made up of gas. Stars also make their own light and their own heat. So the Earth is not a star because the Earth, we get our light and heat from the sun. The Earth is also not made up of gases, okay? So the Earth is not a star, but the sun is. It's made of gas. It makes its own light and heat. The sun is a medium-sized star. It's not the biggest star, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So here I want to know, if the sun is only a medium-sized star, why is it so much brighter than the other stars? I know that when I look up in the night sky and I see stars, they look like little tiny dots. They look very, very small, but the sun looks much bigger, and the sun is bright enough to light up our whole Earth during the day. So if the sun is only a medium-sized star, why is it so much brighter than the other stars? I'll give you a second to think about that. See if you could think of why. If it's not the biggest, why is it the brightest? And the answer is because the sun is so much brighter than the other stars because it is the closest star to Earth. That's why the sun is so much brighter than the other stars, because it's much closer to us than other stars. It's still very, very, very far away, but it's closer than any of the other stars. I told you the sun is the center of our solar system. So our solar system is the sun, the Earth, and other planets. And all these other planets orbit or move in a circle around the sun. And the sun is in the middle of all these planets. Why is the sun important? So I'll give you a minute, see if you can think about why the sun is important to us. Why do we need the sun? Hopefully you thought of a couple reasons. Without light from the sun, it would be dark. We wouldn't have the sunlight every day, so it would just be like nighttime all the time. plants would not be able to grow. So plants use the sun's energy in order to make their own food and to be able to grow. And plants are very important to us because they give us clean air to breathe and food to eat. So without the sun, we would not have clean air to breathe or food to eat. And without the sun, Earth would be freezing cold because again, the sun is our main source of heat. So here's the question that we're going to talk about today and look at, and the kids in class here are going to make something to help them remember. And the question is, why does the sun appear to move across the sky? So in other words, I know that in the mornings, like right about the time everybody's coming to school, the sun is in the east. It's over in this part of the sky. And then sometimes I like to take a walk out to my car at lunchtime, maybe to kind of warm up and move a little bit. And I notice that at lunchtime, the sun is now pretty much directly overhead above me. And then later in the evening tonight, when I am, finishing up here at school and driving home and getting ready to make dinner, the sun will be over here in the western part of the sky. So I want to know, why does the sun appear to move across the sky? Is the sun actually moving, or is something else happening? And the answer is that the sun rises in the west every morning and the sun rises in the east every morning and sets in the west. So is the sun actually moving? Here's the answer. No, the sun is not actually moving. But the earth is rotating or spinning. This is why it looks like the sun moves across the sky. So it's the same reason that we have day and night. Remember last week we talked about how day and night is caused by the earth's rotation or spin. When we're facing the sun, it's day. When we're facing away from the sun, it's night. This is the same reason why the sun appears to move across the sky all day. The sun isn't moving. We are actually the ones moving. So I'm going to demonstrate this really quickly. I think that I might turn off the lights or dim them so it'll be easier for you to see. Hold on. All right, I don't know if that's any better. I think it'll be too dark if I turn them all the way off. But here is our globe. A globe is a model of the earth. Since we cannot, bring the real earth into the science lab, we use a model. So it's like a mini representation of the earth. So here we are right here. I put a star there. I don't know if you can see that. Put a star to show where we are. And here's our sun shining on us, okay? So since the sun is shining on us right here, this would be daytime, right? But remember, the earth is rotating or spinning. So now the star is over here. So we are facing away from the sun. That would be nighttime. Okay, so that's what we talked about last week. This is the same reason why the sun appears to rise in the east. Here's the east. So as we're rotating, and notice my sun isn't moving, my sun is still. Oh, it's morning time. We're starting to wake up. We can see the sun over there. It's lunchtime. The sun is directly overhead, but the earth keeps moving. So now the sun is going down in the west. And this is why the sun appears to move across the sky. It looks like it's rising in the east and setting in the west because of the earth's rotation. So the kids that are here in class are going to, the kids that are here in class are going to be making this sun finder. So this is to help you remember that every morning the sun rises in the east, and do you see how the arrow's going? And then the sun is going to set in the west. So now when the sun is all the way over here, this would be nighttime for us. It would be dark, right? But since we keep rotating, the sun is going to rise in the east and set in the west. So the mystery science activity that the kids here in class are going to be doing before they make this is a little story about a boy who wakes up, goes to his friend's house, and it's in the morning. So he knows in the morning the sun is in the east. So he walks in the direction of the sun and gets to his friend's house. But then in the afternoon, later that afternoon, in the evening, when it's dinner time, it's time for him to go home. The sun is in a different part of the sky. So he remembers that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So he knows if he wants to go back home towards his house, he's now going to walk west in the direction of the sun. Since in the morning, he walked towards the east to get to his friend's house. He walked towards the sun. But in the evening, the sun's over here. He's going to walk west, still towards the sun, to get back home. All right. So I hope that you had fun learning about the sun and had fun in our first science lab in our new school. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.